Writing's not that easy, but Grammarly can help. This sentence is grammatically correct.
Okay, good morning, everybody. See, look at this. Like, I've got like intro music and everything. It's almost like I'm getting ready for my Twitch career when my teaching career stops being so lucrative. Anyways, good morning, everybody. I hope you're doing all well. If you guys could confirm that my voice is coming through good, that would be helpful. But we have almost made it through uh, our first full week together, which is pretty amazing. We are now on day 4, which means that we are very nearly wrapped up because next for tomorrow, I'm really going to try to keep things less due that day. Like I'm going to introduce a few things that will be coming up and be part of our week the following week. Rather than giving you a whole bunch of stuff that will be due on the Friday itself. I would like you to spend tomorrow, especially, trying to make sure to clear up everything that is left over from your week that needs cleaned up because, in reality, uh, I have to do an interim report. Um, I think I have to actually update my Edsby to give you guys like a progress check uh, that will say, very good, good, needs improvement, experiencing difficulty, or not enough information. I have to send that sort of progress indicator home on Monday, I believe. So I would love to have as few missing items as possible before I do that so that I can say everything is, by the end of the week, we got to where we needed to go. Okay. So the goal for today and for tomorrow is to clean up everything that's left, as well as finish up what is assigned today. There will be some new items that come live tomorrow. There will be chapter 7, 8, summaries and things like that. I feel like those are smaller pieces. But I do feel like, some of the bigger pieces will not be due until sometime in our next week together in the future. And before you know it, we're going to blink and it's going to be the long weekend in May, and then we'll be done. Okay. So hopefully everybody can still find that gear to keep pushing forward despite how much everybody I know absolutely loves distance learning, loves learning from the couch, and so on. Okay. So, anyways, let's hop into the classroom and take a look at what's up for today. Okay. So looking at, again, I always scroll down to the bottom, right, just so you can see. In the older work in the media analysis, the hair love assignment, if you haven't finished it, there's still one person that doesn't have it in, is there. And the I am poetry, I think we're all good now. Okay. Chapters 1 and 2 for little brother. We've got 4 people that haven't finished their summaries, or I had returned to them and asked them to fix it. And for chapter questions, we're all good. Okay, this is the advanced sentence correction from the first day. Not going to look at that. Yesterday's work, the Dear Basketball assignments. I think I have 2 that I have to mark still, so I think we're all good on that. Summaries, I have 6 people's that I have to mark still, and 6 people who haven't yet submitted. And for chapter questions, which is the chart, there's still a number of people that need to finish it off. So some people were kind of struggling with, how do I find things that have deeper meaning or mean other things, right? So the examples that I used were things like sarcasm, right? So in that first chapter where and um, Marcus and the principal are having their back and forth in their office, neither one of them is really telling the truth about anything that they're saying. And there's all these loaded meanings and loaded thoughts behind what they're saying. Okay. But inference as a skill also goes beyond just words and dialogue. You can also look at actions as well. And so somebody may have said something very innocent and very benign, saying, like, wow, that's really cool. However, based on the context of the rest of the scene, you might notice that, for example, they're actually not really engaged with it, or they're thinking about something else, or they're just trying to pacify somebody or whatever. So look for loaded sentences that have other and deeper meanings towards the story, identify character traits, and generally just give you exposure points to what's up with Van and Daryl and Marcus and so on. Okay, so please, continue with that. Summaries. People are still working out the sort of ins and outs of how to do summaries properly. Today's summaries are a completion mark still because we are still getting people figuring out exactly how to do these. But the goal is to not just retell the story. A summary in terms of an English class has more to do with these are the plot points that happened in this chapter, and this is what it told me about how this character is thinking, what their traits are, what are the main themes of the story, and what are the ideas that the author is trying to put forward into the world. And next week, that we're together, we're going to be talking a lot about themes and author motivations for writing. And one of the assignments today is actually going to give you a lot of insight into that. So when you're answering it, you shouldn't just be focusing on plot. So for example, in chapter 2, where there's the big explosion and all those things going on, what does the reaction to that explosion tell you about Marcus? So you might have, like, in this chapter, there was a big explosion and all of these crazy things happened right at the end. This shows me as a reader that this book isn't going to be like what I thought. The first chapter was all about teenagers behaving badly and sarcasm and all that, but now all of a sudden there's a terrorist attack or an earthquake or whatever it was that happened. And now we're seeing, heightened emotional states and all these other things. So it really makes me wonder what's coming. That is a more effective summary from your experience as a reader than just saying there was an explosion and they ran into some guys in a van. That doesn't really tell you a lot. Okay, so go into greater detail around what the plot points are pushing forward for character experiences, themes, traits, and so on. And that's the reason why I keep giving you feedback about how to change and how to tweak those things. Okay. So make sure you finish these up. Make sure you finish the chart up. Okay, Dear Basketball, we're good. Okay, so then for today, you still got your grammar sheets that you're working on. Obviously, hit submit at some point. If you don't hit submit in these until the weekend, that's okay. I know that it's a fair bit of work, so just keep picking away at it. Okay, you have your chapter summaries here. Okay, again, 5 and 6 is the goal for today in separate paragraphs. I left the chapter 4 question here because that's the one about the Bill of Rights and the Charter, and it was assigned yesterday, so some people probably still need to finish this off. It says due today. If it comes tomorrow, I'm not going to be heartbroken. Chapters 5 and 6, it says this list is not exhaustive. You can pick something off list if you wish. Okay? So it says, in this chapter, Marcus gives us some tech-related explanations, spy camera finders, Linux hacking, bugs, etc. Now it's your turn to explain some technology. Imagine that you were trying to explain one of the modern technologies listed below to someone from 50 years ago. So 50 years ago is what now? 1970? So that's 10 years before I was born. So there's no internet, there's no cell phones, there's barely cable television, right? So I mean, it's a much different era, so pick one technology, explain in your own words. The email, iPhone, Android, the internet, MP3 players, digital cameras, PlayStation, uh, whatever, like pick something and try to explain it in your own words. Okay. Again, this would be 4, 5, 6 sentences, something like that. And this is the only work for 5 and 6 in terms of chapter questions. Okay. So there's no like chapter 6 labeled thing. Okay. So you have your 4 question, you have your 5, 6 question, you have your 5, 6 summary. So you'll obviously have to listen and or read to chapters 5 and 6 of Little Brother. And you also have these 2 other pieces right here. Okay, so The Border short story is our first example of doing work with a self-contained story. Okay, so you have the short story of Borders here. Okay, and as you can see, it's all listed out here. Okay, so this is a self-contained story. Okay, and then you have some questions to answer. Okay, so this is, again, 90% completion mark, 10% sort of knowledge understanding. So there are some bolded words in here that will require you to think about what they actually mean. So, question number 1, identify the point of view in the story and explain how you know. Point of view meaning, is this story in first person perspective or is it in third person perspective? So a first person is like looking through somebody's eyeballs, like, you know, like playing a shooter where you can see just the gun and nothing else. First person. Or third person, meaning it's almost like there's a suspended camera watching everybody, right? Meaning like you're not inside anybody's head. Okay? So identify the point of view in the story. Number 2, identify the conflict in the story. I think everybody hopefully knows what that word means. Who is the protagonist? Who is the main, basically, who is the main character and how do you know? Then it's asking you to identify some character traits for a round character. And if you don't fill out the quote part, like meaning like the evidence, that's okay, because that's a sort of a deeper skill. So I am going to write a note in the explanation to say, don't worry about the quote part. Okay, just identify character traits of the character. A round character is a character that you have greater insight and greater detail about, whereas a flat character you wouldn't know. So, for example, in Little Brother, Marcus is a round character. The principal is a flat character, because really, outside of that one scene, you don't really know a whole lot about them. Okay? Try your best to answer what is the author's purpose in showing the characters this way. Identify a flashback in the story. Why is not stating her nationality such an important issue for Letitia's mother? And then explain the theme of the story. This one here, number 8, is a trickier question because we haven't done too much work on theme yet. So this is 100% practice. I'd like to see what your interpretation is for theme. So if I go into here and I hit edit, I'm just going to add these notes right here. So number 1, do not worry about putting quotes in to identify your theme. Your traits. Okay. Please just label which traits you feel the round and flat characters have. So there's 1. Number 2, the theme question is hard because we are still learning what a theme is. So try your best, and it is 100% completion mark for that part. Okay? Save. There you go. Okay? So don't worry about putting quotes in to identify your traits. Just label which traits you feel the round and flat characters have. Theme question is hard because we're still learning what a theme is. Do try your best. It is 100% completion mark. Okay? So give this a try. It says due tomorrow. Okay? So work on it throughout the day. This last one is going to take you a little bit longer. So Cory Doctorow is the author of Little Brother. So this is the actual person. He is an advocate on issues around privacy and people's rights. Very outspoken. Done a lot of TED Talks. Okay. So there are 2 TED Talks to watch here of him talking about the things that he has done. One of these was done before Little Brother was published. The other one was, I believe, after. And after you've watched both, please answer these questions as best as you can. Okay? So listen carefully to the presentations, as I give you 2, given by Cory Doctorow regarding internet privacy. When you're finished, answer the questions below. What is his main argument? Okay. Do you accurately outline the argument presented and demonstrate an understanding of his supporting points? You're not necessarily going to be able to remember them all or pull them all. But if you're able to basically say, what's his argument and what are one or two of his supporting points, then you would get full marks on that. Question number 2. How does this argument connect to little brother? Okay, so far. You have a sense of the kinds of things that Marcus is unhappy about as a character. So is Marcus Corey, basically? And I would say it probably is, okay? Do you agree with Doctorow's argument? Have you stated a clear opinion that relates to Doctorow's argument? Is your writing clear and well edited? Okay? I keep telling people that don't send me typos. You're typing on a computer, it's flagging them. Spend some time and work on it, okay? Make it pretty. All right, so that is the work that is assigned for today. So you're going to read chapters 5 and 6 for little brother. You're going to listen to Cory Doctorow talk a bit. You've got another short story here that's due tomorrow, okay? And you've got some chapter questions and summaries to work on. Everybody's got lots to do, okay? Just know that I'm probably going to pull, I know that you can probably see down here that there are other things coming, including another short story. I'm probably going to pull this short story and bump it to the week following, okay? So let's just let this evolve and see how the day goes. And I might pull chapter 7, 8 for little brother as well for tomorrow, depending on how the work comes in, okay? But do your best. Send in your best work when it's ready to come in. Don't rush it. Don't think that I'm saying like, get it in, get it in, get it in, because that's really not what I'm trying to say. What I'm trying to say is that I would like you to put in your best efforts and put the time in, okay? Everybody here absolutely can do well in this course and work to continue to improve. I just need you guys to put the time in. Don't send one sentence when it's a full paragraph is the expectation. Look at the instructions, or if you're unclear, ask. If you submit something and I write back and I say, this really isn't enough, but I'm giving you a completion mark anyway, don't just go, oh, sweet, right? Go, okay, how can I get better? Because you know that Clark is going to give me an actual marked assignment on this skill at some point very soon. So why not get it right now when there's no risk and it's all reward? Okay? So, any questions about what the expectations are for today? Please put them in the chat. I'm just going to go through and do the attendance in the chat right now. So if you haven't said hello yet, please do so. Okay. But otherwise, if you have no questions, use your good manners, say bye, and we'll see you at 2 o'clock for a Google Meet. But please reach out anytime you have work that you need some help with, okay? Yeah. Marley. There's Marley. Bye, guys. There's Bailey. Tim, Miguel, Cameron. Bye, guys. Cameron, Jordan, and Brooke. Jordan, Brooke, Charlie and Sarah. Sarah, there's Charlie, Zach and Grace. Grace, I see. Zach, I see. Mason said hello this morning. Lila, yeah. All right, very good. Everyone accounted for. Excellent. All right, any questions in the chat before I end the stream? All right, seeing none, I will see you guys at 2 o'clock. See you later.